Page 35, The Story of the Rose. Get some more exercise, some more practice in legato pedaling. This is in B flat major again, just like the last piece. I don't have a lot to say, just their fingering is fine, just do what they're saying. The only change I might suggest in the right hand would be in the second line in the second and third measures. Though you have two C's back to back. Rather than using the same finger, I would do a 4-5. 4 on the 8th note, and then a 5 on the dotted quarter note. And I think that's pretty much the only change. In the left hand, again, you just got the chords. Type thing, not a big deal. A few accidentals to look out for, not a big deal. Watch the dynamics. You're starting out with a medium soft, and that's melodies medium soft. The accompaniment has to be under that. You decide how under, since you decide what medium soft is. So just keep the accompaniment softer than the melody. Now the pedaling, again, it's legato pedaling, but I like to hear a break between the phrases. So I would recommend you don't legato pedal between the phrases. Well, that's not a bad thing as long as the phrase ends at a bar line, right? But if you look at the third line last measure, the phrase doesn't end at a bar line. It's in the middle of a measure. So you have two beats, and then the third beat is a new phrase. It's a pickup too. So in this case, there's a couple ways you might do it. Let me explain them both. One way is when the hands lift up and go back down for the third beat of that last measure in the third line, for the new phrase, I could let the pedal come up and down with them. All right. Now, if I do that, the pedal is going to catch that last note in that measure and hang on to it. Because I'm not changing it again at the next measure. I'm not going to go up and down in this case. Sometimes you do. Here, I wouldn't do that. So the G, when you play it and you push the pedal down and you go to the next measure, you can still hear the G. So, to avoid that, I recommend that you don't push the pedal down until the beginning of the next measure, which means for the last beat in that last measure of the third line, there's no pedal. So it's this way. Like so. So we get a break in the phrase. Now, the break in the phrase is in the right hand, not the left. The left doesn't have any phrasing in it. In the past, we've done both at the same time, both hands, so we get a little silence. Technically, we wouldn't do that. I did that just to help keep it simple for you. But really, what you want to do is keep the left hand down, keep a legato throughout. There's no phrasing there. It's the right hand that has to come up and down between the phrases. So, in the last measure of the third line, it's there. So, you know, the left hand stayed down, the right hand came up, and the pedal came up so we could hear a break, but it didn't go back down until the next measure. Pedaling is getting a little trickier. You may have to practice that. Now, when you go between the phrases and the other phrases, that's at the bar lines, the hands will come up. Actually, the left hand doesn't come up. It stays down. The right hand comes up, and the pedal comes up with the right hand. Up and down with the right hand. So the last measure of the first line to the first measure of the second line is this. I don't know if I'm explaining this very well or not, but eventually you'll get it because I'm going to keep talking about it. So with all that said, 3/8 time, I'll give us 3 counts, and let's try this out together slowly. Remember, we are counting 8th notes here. 1, ready, go. 3 off.